Hey guys, it's Chase here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today what I have for you is the Gemmy 2013 6.2 foot tall Halloween life-size animated night fright bike. This is an item that I actually got quite a bit ago. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, but I got it at least 1 or 2 months ago. And I honestly completely forgot that I had this guy until a video popped up of him on my YouTube feed, and I was like, oh wait, I have one, and I still have not reviewed it yet, so I figured why not just knock it out today, go ahead and knock out a review and get it uploaded. So I got this item off of a friend. I think I only paid like $100, maybe 120, somewhere around there. I don't even think I paid shipping on it. It was a pretty good deal, and this wasn't necessarily a must-have item ever for me. I mean, I've always kind of liked it, always thought about owning one. I mean, I figured one may pop up near me and I'll get it, or I'll find a party store that has it or something. I mean, it's just, he was made for so many years, so it was just one of those things where I figured I would have gotten, for cheap a while ago, but I didn't, and I kind of ended up forgetting that this item even existed until my friend told me that he was selling one, and I was like, oh, cool, how much do you want for it? And he was like, oh, maybe like $100 somewhere around there. And I don't really know what they go for online. I haven't really paid attention to his listings, but it seemed like a pretty good deal given that that was cheaper than what he sold for in stores, and the fact that he was basically brand new, aside from not having the box inserts. I mean, he looks great, he operates great. I don't even think I did any work on him. I'm pretty sure he came all set, At the very least, you'd expect like replacing a split gear in the head or something, but I don't even think I did that, or if I did, it probably didn't give me any issues because I don't remember struggling with it or anything. But it was always just with this item, if the opportunity presented itself, where if there was nothing else I really wanted on eBay, nothing I was really eyeing, and if it was a good price, I would go ahead and pick one up, and that's what I did. So I think throughout the video you'll hear me talk about how this is kind of a budgeted prop, which is not necessarily a bad thing. There are some pros and cons with him that I will talk about. Overall, it's it's still a classic Gemmy prop. I mean, nowadays I'd consider like 2013 still classic. I mean, I think everybody has a definition, but I think 2013 and under, those are the classic days. Just because 2013 I think was the last year that Gemmy did the collapsibles, so I would still say that still counts as a classic year, and then after that it was just kind of whatever pull-based items that they were making. But this one was sold at Lowe's, you can see by the box, but he was actually sold at a few other different stores. There's two other off the top of my head that I can just very well say that he was definitely sold at. He was sold at Kmart, and he was also sold at party stores as well. And there's a few different boxes that he has. He's got the Lowe's box, he's got the Totally Ghoul box from Kmart, which actually looks pretty cool. And then he's got the orange box, just for the wholesalers. It almost looks like a BJ's box, kind of. It's not, but it almost looks like that, it being the orange box. And then some speculate that this was also sold at Menards, which I cannot confirm. I mean, I don't have a Menards near me, so I don't remember seeing him in stores. I do remember seeing him at Lowe's. I don't remember seeing him at like Kmart or Menards. I mean, I had a Kmart near me and never went to him, but Menards, I did not have one near me, so I don't remember seeing this guy. And I could not also find any photos of him at Menards, so I'm going to say he probably wasn't, and somebody was just not remembering correctly. But he was definitely sold at Kmart, Lowe's, obviously, and then party stores. And we do have a few pictures of him at Kmart, and him having the Kmart Totally Ghoul box, which actually looks pretty cool. It's definitely one of my favorite ones. So this guy has one movement. He's got a few different lighting effects on his head. He's just got the regular butler movements. He's definitely one of the less animated butlers, but he's still got a lot going on, which I can appreciate. He's got the light show effect, which I do love. I love items that have that light show effect, which for some people, it might not be a good substitute for movement. I think that it's fine. I mean, I can't really picture this guy with mouth movement. I mean, I'm sure it would have been possible, but I mean, he seems more correct to me with the glowing teeth and eyes. I mean, that just seems more cool to me, because it makes it unique. So that's about it with him. So I will go ahead and get an up-close look at him for you guys, and I'll kind of show what I'm talking about him being a little bit more on the budgeted side. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get an up close look at him. Okay guys, so here he is. I mean, you can see there's not too much to go over, but there's still some nice details on him that I do want to go over, so we'll just go ahead and go over all of it. And I do want to say that it's great to be back doing these reviews. I mean, not that you guys have noticed much, because I've been uploading like a decent amount. I have not done one of these like wall reviews, as I call them, I guess, in about a month. I mean, like any videos that I've uploaded in the past week or two, like those have been pre-recorded. Like it's been a while since I've actually done one of these, so it's good to be back. So here he is. You can see he looks pretty intimidating. Like, I mean, I think it's just because he's got like the black, outline in the eyes, but I mean, he really does look horrifying. I mean, if I was a kid and I saw it, I would either think it's super cool or just not want to go near it, one of the two. So his head actually, it has two connectors in it, because he's got two different functions in the head. He does not have a sensor there, contrary to what people believe. That's just there for the tabletop version, because there's a tabletop head like of this, and it has a sensor in the mouth, and it has the same exact phrases. It's just, it wasn't used in this instance. It's all the way in the base down there. But he's got two connectors because the eyes and the mouth are on a different channel. The mouth stays lit. The eyes will blink to the mouth, or like if it did have mouth movement, the eyes would blinking to that. There's not too much detail once you go in the back. I mean, you can see like the detail kind of stops there. It's mostly in the front, and you can see there's some like scuffing here and whatever. It's just from it, kind of rolling around in the box. Not much I can do about it, but his hood covers it up nicely, and it kind of looks ridiculous, without the hood on. Or maybe it looks cool. I don't know. Just no hair. You can see he's got only two colors going on. He's got this, this very nice red nylon. And it also kind of aligns the hoodie as well. And I have seen some videos where people will like swap it inside out, so the red's on the actual outside. I don't know how I feel about that. This is how it's supposed to be. But I mean, either way, I think it kind of looks cool. And then you've got this black fabric that they use, which is actually, it's creepy cloth, but it reminds me more of like the texture of like a burlap sack or something, like just like one of those like farm sacks or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a very thick material, which would lead me to believe that this would not fade easily. Now, if this was like a very thin creepy cloth like you see nowadays on items, yeah, it'd probably go within a few weeks of being outside. This, I could see it lasting a full season without it hardly changing its color, which is nice. I can't speak much for the red, because I mean, it's thin. But the creepy cloth is what fades very easily, and so the fact that this is a lot thicker, which, irregardless if it was cheaper to do it like that or more expensive, I don't know. I'm glad that they did it like that. And then just going the full way down and basically parting out, it's this black nylon, which again, very nice material. I mean, it's not expensive, but it does feel very nice. Now, I was talking about this guy being budgeted. One of the biggest things you can notice is just the arm structure, or not the structure, but the padding that they used. It is just this very thin foam material that you would find on that of a Spirit Halloween item, in the last few years or something, like just this very thin foam and then the wire going up. So it's not great. I mean, I was very disappointed when I opened this up and it had that thin foam right here. I much prefer, of course, the very thick, almost pool noodle foam that goes up, or like the foam that's wrapped in the nylon fabric, anything like that. Like, I love that. So this was definitely a cheaper option. And I mean, the fact that he only has one animation too, and he's got LEDs and everything, like, it just makes it such a budgeted prop, which, like I said, it's not a bad thing if you do it correctly. And I think he was done correctly. I mean, there's a reason that he went to a wholesale, like he was a wholesale item, like party stores and garden centers and stuff picked him up, just because he wasn't expensive to buy. Like, you could buy a bunch of him and, it wouldn't cost an insane amount, because he only has that one movement and the structure itself is nothing crazy. So it's good to have props like this that can be sold, all around, but at the same time, something as small as the arms like that, like, I don't care about how many movements he has. I mean, nowadays you only get like one or two movements, so I mean, who cares anymore? But the arms really bug me because he could have a lot more just life in the arms, I feel like. But with how thick the clothing is, you don't really notice it. I mean, I'm sure nobody really noticed until I picked up the clothing or if you've seen a video on him before or whatever. But just, that's the only thing that really bothers me. One more thing might be is that the fabric that goes like all the way around kind of ends right here. So if you have it back, like you'll be able to see his arm. Like you really have to have it pulled forward. But at that point, it kind of like makes it look weird on the side. Like now the arm has no structure. So you want to put it back like that. So you can see it has the arm, but oh no, now you can see this. So you kind of have to play with how you have it out. But I think also if you had this guy outside and the wind was blowing, it would definitely be peeking out a little bit like that, which kind of ruins the effect, which I don't really care, but just something to look out for. He's got nice hands here. I mean, I think on a lot of these, they end up yellowing. Mine are actually the exact color they're supposed to be, which is always nice. I mean, it's one of the reasons I bought this item because it was actually in very good shape. And it's made of vinyl, which is a nice material, and it's painted rather well too. I mean, on this side and this side, so just very nice. And then underneath him, you can see, yeah, we got this again. I hate that. We've got just the standard way to hook the hand up to a butler tray, and the butler tray. I mean, you know, despite it being made so many years, it's still, you know, it feels very nice. It's still got these little parts that can swing out and put back in for, you know, storage purposes. So it still stays true to the classic butler way. And it also, mine actually happens to be pretty straight. I mean, like you can't really rock it back and forth. I've seen someone like they're like totally off to the side like that, and someone really forward. So mine was actually done correctly, and it looks nice like that, but it also holds candy a lot better when you have it like that. However, I think if you put a lot of candy in, he'll probably be weighed down like that. But he actually does not have that big of an issue of leaning forward. Like, he does not lean forward that much at all. I know a lot of the pole-based ones, especially something like Giles, like, oh, no, like he leans forward a ridiculous amount. Or like the Deadhead Butler, like don't even talk about it. Like like he's almost falling over. So to see one that actually stands up straight is very nice, because it's hard to achieve something like that unless you have like the collapsible mechs, because those have so many poles in there that are holding it up for the structure, whereas these only have, you know, one per side and then, you know, one going straight up. So, you know. And then he's got the regular base that they were using throughout the years after they were done with the collapsibles. He's got the sensor in the base right here, and then he's also got the plug-in for the base, and I love these bases. I mean, I think that the 09 or 08 bases that have the little holes in the side and they're flat, I think those are fine. But I much prefer these bases where you actually like plug everything into the base. It's got the sensor right there. I just think it looks so much more cool. And you've also got the options to have the poles in the side right here, because they do have the holes. Now, the guy I got it off of, he actually had the poles for these, but he has a ghost face and he wanted to keep them. And I was like, well, you better take money off of it then, because it makes it incomplete. He was like, oh, okay, I'll take like $10 off. And I was like, okay, fine, you can keep them. One thing I am noticing though is you can see the pole right there. So not great if you have light shining from the outside, like the back of him. But if it's from the front, I'm sure you couldn't really see it much. I mean, if you have like some light on it, I don't think you'd see it that much. And then he's just got the regular butler shoes here. I mean, nothing just amazing. He's got the QC17 pass sticker right there. I don't know what the numbers on the side means. Maybe one of you do, but I don't know. But I feel like this up-close video was even longer than the activation everything's going to be, so I will go ahead and show the box and then get to activate them for you guys. Here's the box. It's a standard Lowe's box. Of course, you can tell it's Lowe's because it's got the item number, you know, the big item numbers at the top. The sides are basically all the same. You know, he's got the picture there, and then right there. He was sold for $159, everyday low price. That's not a low price. It's actually rather expensive. Life-size animated Night Fright mic. I love that it actually has the price tag on there. That's very cool. And then on the back of here, you can see it's got all the information about him. I'm not going to read all that, but it says he takes a 6-volt, 1000 milliamp. It says he was made in 2013, right there. And then, of course, it's got the barcode and everything, and then the telephone number to call if he's not working very well. On the inside, there's nothing, no box inserts or anything. So, you know, I wish he had them. But I think something like him, he only came with like bags. So it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it with up close with him. So I will go ahead and activate him for you guys. He's got a few different phrases. They're not like special or anything, but they are still pretty cool. So yeah, I will go ahead and activate him for you guys. Alright guys, so I got him plugged in. I don't remember how loud he is. I'm pretty sure he's decently loud. I have not activated him yet. But I've had a few items that have his phrases, like the Lantern Reaper, and I've had a prototype that has his phrases, and you know, it was all pretty loud, so I'm gonna imagine that he's decently loud, so I guess we'll see. But yeah. This way. So you can see he works pretty well. He does have a belt-driven head mech, but you can see it's not very fast, and it's not the voltage or anything he's getting, it's just the fact that it's very stiff. I think the motor might be a little bit locked up. I've had a few items that, you know, are a few belt-driven mechs that are either super smooth or just hardly move at all. So, I mean, it's kind of luck of the draw which one you get, and I'm sure it can be corrected, you know, if you give it better grease or a new motor or whatever. But from all the Night Fright mice that I've seen, he basically moves exactly how he's supposed to, maybe a little bit better, I don't know. He moves like a gear-driven mech, where he looks to the side, looks to the front, and then looks to the side, which is how he's programmed. But, I mean, for anybody that's owned a bunch of the head, or belt-driven head mechs, you'd know that it kind of skips over the center and just completely goes over to the other side, and it tries to move again, but it can't because it's already, you know, over to the side. So he does not have that issue, but I kind of like it when items move that fast. His eyes are hooked up to programmed mouth movement. I don't think that he was ever supposed to have programmed mouth. I don't know of any other animatronics that have these phrases with mouth movement. I mean, off the top of my head, but it was programmed in. I mean, this is likely just a reused program that you know, Gemmy's been using. I don't know. But I think at the time it was just kind of a safe bet to program most Halloween items with the mouth movement in case they did end up doing mouth movement on them. It's just one of those things. It's, you know, go ahead and program it in case we end up doing it this way. Because there's a lot of items that are like that, that have unused functions. Decently bright LEDs. You know, it works very well. I don't think I've seen one that's like dimming or anything, but they're very bright. So that's basically it with him. I mean, he's just got those phrases. I wouldn't say they're overused or anything. There are a few tabletops and a couple life sizes that have those phrases, but overall, I think they're nice. I mean, I love the classic phrases. I mean, even the ones that are like, what is it, like yes, come closer, come right up this way. Super overused phrase in a lot of people's mind, but I mean, I just think it's great, you know. Just the classic phrases are great. I mean, you can use them like 100 different times. I don't care. I mean, I just think they're great. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Really hope you guys enjoyed. I do recommend it. You can definitely find one, and probably if you go on eBay right now. I mean, like I said, he was sold for a few different years, a few different places. You should not have an issue finding him, and like I said, as far as shape, I don't think you'd have an issue finding him in decently good shape just because he's made of a very thick fabric. Whether that was, you know, more costly or whatever, I don't know. But you definitely should not have a hard time finding him in pretty good shape. But yeah, I will see you guys again next time.